Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Welcome to Quran and Tajweed. Today's lesson is based on Ahkam al-Nun al-Sakina with Tanween. This means the rolling of the silent Noon and the double vowels or the Tanween. And this is going to be our lesson 6. We are squeezing this Ahkam between lessons. In the previous lesson, we connected letters. And learning this ahkam will make us more comfortable moving forward, inshallah. We'll squeeze a little bit more of the tajweed here, talking about the ahkam al-nun al-sakina wa tanween. So let's get to it. So we have the ahkam al-nun al-sakina. This is just what I defined. And to make it short, you can just say silent noon and double vowels. And they come with a bunch of rules that we will get into in the next coming videos. So we will get to it. We will talk about the Nun al-Sakina first, and then we will get to the Tanween. We will separate them for a second. So here's our Nun al-Sakina, which differs from the Tanween, although they're under the same umbrella. As far as ahkams and things go, they talked about I talked about usually together, but they're slightly different in rulings. So when it comes to a Nun al-Sakina, the silent noon, it does not change its form or pronunciation. Once you continuing to read it, the recite after the word that it's on or stopping at it doesn't make a difference. You always see it and you can hear it. Unlike the Tanween, which we'll get to in just a second. So the Tanween here, an example, the Sakina, Nun al-Sakina, here it shows that, I used a couple of examples, which both come under the Nun al-Sakina. So the Nun al-Sakina has a sukun here, as you can see. There's a Nun right there. Remember the Nun medium? When it's in the middle, we talked about the Arabic alphabet chart in the past. So this is what it looks like in the middle. So you do remember, this is a Nun in the middle. So it's connected to Ain and Ha. So anha. This is pronounced as in anha. And here's a Nun right here. But then in this case, there is no vowel. But you can still hear the Nun. So it says man. You can see the n sound at the end, and you heard the noon sound here, the na sound here. So annaha and man. So whether you're stopping at it or you continuing with it, you can always hear it, and most importantly, see it. So we will talk about the difference between how the tanween differs from the nun al-sakina. So here's our tanween. It's where you pronounce the Nun al-Sakin, an extra one, which you will not be able to see. So you won't see it. It's not written there. It doesn't exist technically, but you pronounce it at the end when you're stopping at the word. Remember that when you're stopping at the word and not continuing to read it. And if you decide to continue to read after it, then it will disappear. So you won't hear the nah sound. So right here, I have the symbols of the tanween here. Ignore the circles here. I just put those there as placeholders. But what you can see here are the characters of tanween. An, in, un. So I picked the alphabet here, since we're practicing to connecting or like pronouncing still. I just decided to pick the first 4 to use as an example for tanween. So here's an alif with tanween. And you can hear the noon sound, but you can't see. You don't see the noon here. And here's a ban, ba with a tanween right here. But you don't see the noon in any of these. Tin, tun, we're using the fathatain and kasratain and dhammatain here. We practiced before the tanweens, but we know that this is just showing to show you that it doesn't appear. Even when you're reading in the Quran and a tanween comes at the end of a word and it's always on the last letter of a word, of any word, and you cannot see the noon, but you can hear it. So that's the difference between the noon sakina in the previous slide and the tanween. So now we will get the noon sakina, ahkam noon sakina with tanween come with a bunch of rules that we will get to, inshallah rahman. So there are generally 4 rules of tajweed apply to noon sakina and tanween. So ahkam noon sakina with tanween become they have 4 rules that we will have to separately talk about in the next video, inshallah. Watch out for it. And you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell so you can get notifications of the next videos, inshallah rahman. And we'll do all of them until we're comfortable enough to read the Quran on our own, and we'll start videos reading and reciting the actual verses from the Quran, inshallah. And may Allah accept from all of us, inshallah.